I think there's a real opportunity now for our First Nations to collaborate and build a stronger and better relationship with the federal government.
Working together with all the other nations within our region, and even the southern regions too, working with everybody together as a collective, we'll have a better voice provincially and federally.
The BCAFN is really about doing this type of activity, gathering us together and sharing, like we can share our success stories, share what's actually working in economics and what's not working, and how can we actually create more collaborative partnerships amongst First Nations, not only with our industry out there, but with each other.
I think it's very important to be able to network on exactly where we are going and how we're getting there. And if we don't sit down as economic leaders in our different regions, then we will still stand alone, isolated, hollering in the darkness.
If you have an economic development that will create some employment for people, will create revenue for the First Nations to become less dependent upon any other funds like Indian Affairs and that, because you need to become self-sufficient.
How can we work together in a unified way in our region or within the province? I mean, we're pretty strong together. You know, let's reverse this divide and conquer to go the other way, and that works in our favor.
We need to be able to diversify and streamlining our revenues, being able to adapt to the way business is being conducted.
We are really interested in advancing our territory through the highway as well as through the ocean and in the forest. And we had hoped to utilize our resources to the best of our abilities while still protecting the importance of the land, because everything that we do is tied to the land and making the best use of it. So anything that we do moving forward would be done so with our traditional teachings in mind.
As First Nations people, we need to reconcile with one another. We need to make peace with one another, and we need to trust one another.
The important value is that we're learning from each other, and in the heartbeat of partnership, that's critical, because we can't do anything without our neighbors and our friends and relatives.
Our knowledge is thousands of years old, and when we share that history and that knowledge, and we should be using our own resource people, the authentic people of this land.
The larger vision, I think, in the long term is actually creating a new type of agreement, a new type of fiscal relationship in terms of economic development between First Nations and the province and the federal government. That's what I'd like to see in the long term. In the short term, in the framework, I'd like to see, again, the commitment from First Nations to sit down and work with one another in the future, and an opportunity to collaborate.
Economic development would be more successful if we worked together more on a nation-to-nation level, and also developing partnerships with the governments, the federal government and the province of BC, and moving forward together for all peoples.
We hope that we can all work as a nation and not divided, but be unified and see how far we can go to become self-sufficient and independent within ourselves and our communities.